Have you ever had the feeling of walking into a room and forgetting why you went there? Or wanting to say something but the words just won't come out? Many people over 50 believe these episodes are normal, inevitable, just part of aging. But the truth is, they don't have to be. The brain is not a motor destined to shut down. It's a living organ, capable of renewing itself, creating new connections, and improving even after your 60s, 70s, or even 80s. I am a neurologist with over 30 years of experience, and I've dedicated my career to helping people like you keep their minds clear, active, and sharp regardless of age. Every day, in my practice, I meet men and women who come in discouraged, afraid they are losing themselves. They tell me they forget their grandchildren's names, can't concentrate like they used to, and feel confused. But when I show them what science has discovered in recent years, I see a new spark of hope light up in their eyes. Today, I want to share with you what I've learned. I want to reveal the 5 foods that can literally reprogram your brain after 50. Foods that nourish your synapses, protect your brain cells, and help you regain the mental clarity you thought you had lost. And the 5th food is the most surprising of all. I'll save it for last, because I want you to truly understand how much the food you choose can transform your brain. But first, let me explain why memory starts to falter. Imagine the brain as a city full of roads and highways. When you're young, traffic flows smoothly and information moves quickly. But over time, some roads narrow, others get clogged with debris, and the signals grow weak. The result is that thoughts slow down, memories take longer to arrive, and concentration scatters. Many attribute all this to aging and simply give up, but the latest studies show that this process can be reversed. The brain has an extraordinary ability to regenerate, we call it neuroplasticity, and we can stimulate it with the right choices. One of the most powerful tools we have is nutrition. I'm not talking about complicated diets or expensive supplements, but about simple foods you probably already know. You just never imagine their effect on your brain. When my patients start including them in their daily diet, within weeks they notice little miracles. They remember names and appointments more easily, follow conversations without getting lost, and feel more energetic and motivated. The first of these foods is perhaps the simplest and most accessible of all: walnuts. Small but mighty, they are rich in omega-3s, vitamin E, and polyphenol that protect nerve cells from premature aging. Walnuts nourish the membranes of neurons, strengthen synaptic connections, and improve the transmission of electrical signals in the brain. I remember the case of Giovanni, a 72-year-old man who came to me worried because he was forgetting everything. He couldn't even follow the crosswords he used to love. I suggested he add a handful of walnuts to his breakfast every day and replace processed snacks with natural dried fruits. After a month, he came back smiling. He told me that not only could he complete crosswords again, but he felt more focused and motivated to get back to his favorite books. It was as if someone had flipped a switch in his mind. If you also start eating walnuts regularly, you'll notice your mind becoming more awake. It's a simple step, but it's the first step to reprogramming your brain. But this is just the beginning. The second food I want to talk about is one of the most powerful natural shields against cognitive decline: blueberries. These little blueberries are a powerhouse of anthocyanins, antioxidant compounds that protect the hippocampus, the part of the brain where new memories are formed. A Harvard study showed that people who eat blueberries at least twice a week maintain cognitive abilities longer and have a lower risk of developing dementia. In my practice, I've seen this effect with my own eyes. One patient, Anna, 68, was discouraged because she kept forgetting things. Together, we created a meal plan that included a serving of blueberries every day. After a few weeks, she told me, "Doctor, I can remember birthdays without having to write them down." The boost to her self-confidence was enormous. When memory improves, you don't just regain clarity, you regain confidence in yourself. Blueberries can be eaten fresh, frozen, blended into smoothies, or mixed into yogurt. The key is to make them a habit. They are the second step in this strategy to bring energy back to your brain and protect mental function for years to come. We've already seen how walnuts and blueberries can transform the brain, but now we come to a food I consider essential for anyone who wants to keep their mind young: oily fish. Salmon, mackerel, sardines, anchovies. These are not just foods, they are true allies for the brain. The reason is simple. They contain omega-3 fatty acids, particularly DHA, which is a structural component of neuron membranes. When the brain is deficient in DHA, communication between cells slows down, just like an electrical wire losing power. An important study from Oxford University showed that people who regularly consume fish have a thicker cerebral cortex and a larger hippocampal volume compared to those who don't, a sign that their brains stay younger. I remember a patient, Carlo, 65, who complained of feeling foggy and unable to concentrate on his evening reading. I advised him to introduce 2 servings of oily fish per week, cooked by steaming or baking to preserve the nutrients. After 6 weeks, he came back and told me he could once again follow his novels without having to reread the same pages 3 times. It wasn't a miracle. It was science applied in the kitchen. Adding omega-3s to the diet is like oiling the gears of a machine. Everything runs more smoothly. Even mood improves, because omega-3s influence the production of serotonin, the neurotransmitter of well-being. And this is an aspect many underestimate. When the brain functions well, emotions become more stable, anxiety decreases, and motivation increases. But it's not enough to nourish the brain, we must also protect it. And this is where the 4th food comes in: broccoli and all cruciferous vegetables such as cauliflower and Brussels sprouts. These vegetables contain sulforaphane, a compound that activates cellular detoxification genes and helps eliminate toxins that damage neurons. It's like sending a cleanup crew inside your mind. Many of my patients don't like broccoli, and maybe you've always avoided it too. But when I explain that these vegetables reduce brain inflammation, protect blood vessels, and improve memory, they begin to look at them differently. Enrico, a 70-year-old patient of mine, decided to trust me and began eating broccoli 3 times a week, steamed to preserve the nutrients. After 2 months, he told me he felt clearer in the mornings and could concentrate on crosswords more easily. The secret is in the cooking. Just a few minutes of steaming is enough to keep the sulforaphane intact. If you overcook the vegetables, you lose most of the benefits. By introducing broccoli and cruciferous vegetables into your diet, you not only help the brain but also improve liver health, which plays an important role in eliminating toxins that affect the mind. At this point, we've already covered 4 essential foods to keep the brain active and protect memory. But the most surprising one, the true brain reprogrammer, is still to come. I want you to stay with me because in the next step I'll talk about the 5th food, the most powerful of all, and an extra tip that can multiply the benefits of all the others. Many of my patients consider this the turning point for their mental health. The 5th food is the one that surprises my patients the most: dark chocolate. Not just any chocolate, but the kind with at least 70% cocoa, rich in flavonoids that increase blood flow to the brain, improve oxygenation, and stimulate the formation of new neural connections. It's a food that combines pleasure and health. A study published in Nature Neuroscience showed that regular consumption of flavonoid-rich cocoa improves mental processing speed and episodic memory in people over 60. I remember Teresa, a 74-year-old woman who was skeptical. She told me she loved chocolate but had always been told to avoid it. When I explained that a small amount of dark chocolate could actually help her, she added it to her evening routine. After 2 months, she noticed not only an improvement in her memory but also in her mood. "It's like a little ritual of happiness that keeps me sharp," she told me enthusiastically. This is exactly the effect we want, to transform food into a tool for well-being. Now that you know the 5 foods, walnuts, blueberries, oily fish, broccoli, and dark chocolate, I want to leave you with a bonus tip that amplifies the benefits of all the others. Drink a glass of water before every meal. The brain is made up of about 80% water, and even mild dehydration can reduce concentration and slow reflexes. Staying hydrated is one of the simplest ways to keep your synapses active and responsive. But it's not enough to just add good foods and water. You must also avoid certain habits that damage memory. The first big mistake is excess sugar and ultra-processed foods. They cause brain inflammation and blood sugar spikes that damage neurons. Cutting back on sweets and sugary drinks is a fundamental step to protect the brain. The second mistake is a sedentary lifestyle. A motionless body means a less oxygenated brain. Just a 20-minute walk each day is enough to boost circulation and improve brain function. The third mistake is sleep deprivation. During deep sleep, the brain cleanses itself of toxins accumulated throughout the day. If you sleep too little, this cleansing doesn't happen, and the risk of cognitive decline increases. The good news is that you can start acting today. Add these foods to your daily routine, drink more water, move your body every day, and protect your sleep. I've seen people completely transform their lives with these small changes. And your transformation can start right now. If this message inspired you, write in the comments which of these foods you will start consuming today. Share this with your friends and family, because they also deserve to have a clear mind and a young brain. And if you want more science-based natural tips to protect your memory, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Don't miss the next content, because the journey to a stronger brain continues. Many people ask me if simply changing a few habits at the table is really enough to see a change in the brain. My answer is always yes, because modern neuroscience shows us that the brain is a plastic organ, capable of adapting to what we give it. I have followed hundreds of patients who started with small steps and experienced profound transformations. Take Mario, for example, age 67. He was a brilliant former teacher, but in recent years had begun to feel confused and slow. He forgot the names of his former students, struggled to remember simple appointments. Together, we built a plan based on these 5 foods. After 3 months, he came back to my office with notebooks full of completed crossword puzzles and told me, "Doctor, it feels like I have 20 years back in my head again." This kind of result is not an isolated case. It's proof that the brain responds when we nourish it the right way. Walnuts, for example, don't just act on memory. They also help reduce systemic inflammation, which is one of the brain's main enemies. When inflammation is high, nerve cells become more vulnerable and synaptic connections weaken. A simple handful of walnuts a day can lower inflammatory markers and improve neural communication. It's like repairing the wires of an electrical network that's transmitting signals too weakly. Blueberries, on the other hand, have an almost immediate effect on brain function. Several studies have observed that consuming blueberries improves working memory in as little as 12 weeks. One of my patients, Lucia, said that after a month of morning blueberry smoothies, she could once again remember her grocery list without writing it down. It's a small change but a very powerful one, because it restores autonomy and confidence. Oily fish also deserves special attention. Many people don't eat enough of it because they fear the taste or strong smell, but it's simply a matter of learning how to cook it the right way. Marinating salmon with fresh herbs, baking it with a drizzle of extra virgin olive oil and some spices makes it tasty and healthy. Remember, the goal is to have at least 2 servings of fatty fish a week. This is what research associates with greater protection against Alzheimer's and cognitive decline. When I talk about broccoli and other cruciferous vegetables, many patients feel discouraged because they say they don't like the taste. My advice is to pair them with other vegetables, drizzle with olive oil and lemon, or even chop them raw and add them to salads. The sulforaphane they contain is one of the most studied compounds for preventing neurodegenerative diseases. It's a true cellular sweeper that helps repair damage and detoxify neurons. Finally, dark chocolate is not only a pleasure for the palate but also a powerful stimulator of neurogenesis, the birth of new neurons. When my patients realize that a small amount of chocolate can be good for them, they turn it into a daily moment of self-care. It's a gesture that motivates them to keep going, because this is not a punishing diet but a pleasant and sustainable lifestyle change. These examples demonstrate that the path to reprogramming the brain is not theoretical but practical and within everyone's reach. And the more consistent you are, the greater the results will be. When you reach the end of this journey, you realize that it's not just about food, it's about a true shift in mindset. For years, we've been led to believe that memory decline is inevitable, that after 50 it's normal to forget things, feel slow, and struggle to concentrate. But science tells us that the brain is not a motor destined to shut down. It is plastic, it regenerates, and it strengthens if it receives the right nourishment. It's like having a garden. If you water it and give it light, even after a long, cold winter, it can bloom again. Many of my patients come to me discouraged, convinced they've lost the battle against time. But when they start introducing these 5 foods and correcting harmful habits, I see the same spark return to their eyes that they had 20 years ago. It is never too late to take care of your brain. Even if today you feel you've lost clarity, even if you fear a future filled with forgetfulness, you can change your trajectory starting right now. Imagine waking up a few weeks from now with a clearer mind, easily remembering where you left your keys, following a conversation without distraction, and having the energy to learn new things. This isn't an unattainable dream, it's the natural result of giving your brain what it needs. That's why I invite you to take action today. Choose to start with just one change: a handful of walnuts at breakfast, a serving of blueberries in the afternoon, a dinner with oily fish. Start with something simple, but start. The longer you wait, the harder it will be to recover the connections that are being lost. And now I want to ask you something. Write in the comments which of these foods you will introduce first into your diet. Your choice might inspire other people to do the same, and together we can create a community of men and women who age with clear, strong minds. If you found this content helpful, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. It's the best way not to miss the next tips I prepare for you. Share this video with those you love, your parents, your friends, your colleagues. You might be the reason someone regains their memory, avoids early decline, and starts to feel alive again. Remember, the brain is the center of your life, and you have the power to nourish it, protect it, and keep it young. The time to start is now.